All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It's January 4th. We got 5 games on the NBA board tonight to get into. Last night, we went 3-2, 2-1 against the spread, 1-1 in player props. Our hits were the Magic plus the points, and we did that out of spite. I didn't really believe in the Magic. I told you guys in the video, but I had been let down by the Bulls by 1 or 2 points in 2 games in a row, and I said, you know what, screw it, we're coming for some revenge. This is a spite game. We took the Magic plus the points, and they actually almost won the game. So there was one of our covers. The Jazz covered for us as well, and then Seth Curry hit his over in threes. In terms of losses, we had in the spread side of things, the Hornets plus 1.5 or plus 2, whatever it was. They ended up losing by just a few more than that. They had that game. I was watching that game, and Kyle Kuzma just goes off for the Wizards, hits like 3 straight threes with a few minutes left in the game, and absolutely turns the momentum. And then Wendell Carter Jr., we had his over in rebounds, and he came up a couple shy. But 3-2 night overall. Not going to complain. It's a money-making night, so I can't complain about that. But let's move on to the shout-out of the day here, and we got someone that went 100%. I went 3-2. That's not 100%. We got Belicious with the Rudy Gobert points, rebounds, and assists total under 31.5. I think Rudy finished with 27 as a total, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that. Then the Sixers minus 13.5. Easy work last night. Magic, he rode with the Magic plus the points. That's a real rider right there, plus 13.5. And then the Grizzlies got the points and actually got the win there. So shout out to Belicious there. Yesterday's hashtag of the day was Let's Go, guys. I will explain the hashtag of the day in a little bit if you want to figure out how you can get shouted out in tomorrow's video. Just stay tuned till the end of the video because it has to do with the hashtag of the day that changes every single day. But one last shout out to Belicious, going absolutely nuclear, 4-0 last night, and taking a few underdogs there as well. So I love it. Shout out to him. But let's get on with today's picks here. I'm not going to be forcing anything tonight. We're having a really good January thus far, says the guy that's 3 days into January. But, I'm not going to be forcing anything. I don't love these spots here tonight, these 5-game slate. But guys, like I always say, we're going to go through each and every game. I'll give you what I'm thinking, give you where my head's at, give you my lean, but then you got to keep an eye on the pinned comment for my final plays, what I'm actually going to be rolling with tonight. I go through all the games, but what I'm actually putting my money on will be in the pinned comment, and I update it throughout the day as I put my plays in, and they're individual. I always get a lot of questions of that list that you drop in the pinned comment. Is that a parlay? I will make it clear if I have a parlay in there. If you see, bullet point X team plus X amount of points, that is just one individual play, okay? Just want to make that clear. But let's jump into it. Cavs hosting the Grizzlies here. Cavs minus 2.5 at home. This Cavs team, they've been struggling. They just beat Indiana a couple nights ago, but this Memphis team's on a back-to-back. They just got a huge win over the Nets, a game that I honestly thought that they'd get beat in. They've won 5 in a row now, so I hate to do it because I think the Memphis team is a lot better than this Cavs team. They do have some injuries. Kyle Anderson, questionable. Dylan Brooks, questionable. Melton, questionable. Nothing else too alarming there. On the Cleveland side of things, Rondo now a Cav. He's going to be out. Ricky Rubio, we know, is out. Jetty Osman is out. Sexton's out. Garland is upgraded to probable. I hate to do it. I think I have to lean Cavs here because this Grizzlies team is a lot better than the Cavs team. I know this Cavs team, what do we call them? We call them the Covering Cavaliers, but they are actually so beaten and bruised now that they're just having a rough time. And this Grizzlies team is playing really good basketball. So I know they're on the second night of a back-to-back. I understand that, they're going to have this sigh of relief after beating a good Brooklyn team. That is why I'm siding with the Cavs here. I really hate to say it. I'm not betting on the Cavs. I'm only sort of betting against the Grizzlies in this spot for them. But if I'm being honest with you guys know I keep it 100 here. This is going to have a really hard chance of making the final ticket. I don't love this play, but it is a lean towards the Cavs for me, especially with getting Garland back there. All right, Raptors hosting the Spurs. Raptors 7-point favorites over the Spurs here. Raptors finally getting healthy. Goran Dragic's still out. Milochuk is out, but other than that, they have their guys back. San Antonio is going to be without Doug McDermott, without DeJounte Murray. Bates Diop, questionable. Lonnie Walker is out. I'm going to lean Toronto here. They've won 2 games in a row against the Clippers and the Knicks. 2, all right teams. I give them credit for that. And the San Antonio team, while they have played some good teams, are coming off of a loss to Detroit, a 1-point loss there. I like Toronto at home in this one. This could be one where maybe I buy a point or so. 7 seems like it's a little bit high, but this does have a chance to make the final ticket, so keep an eye on the pinned comment. But I would love this to be like a 5.5 for me. So if I have to kill the odds to try and secure the dub, that might be what I do, but keep an eye on the pinned comment. I do like Toronto in this one in terms of a lean. Next up, the Knicks are hosting the Pacers. Knicks -2.5 at home here. They might be getting Julius Randle back from quarantine. He is questionable. No Kemba Walker due to a knee, and no Derrick Rose due to a knee. And Mitchell Robinson is also questionable, and Nerlens is downgraded to out. So a lot of very crucial injuries to watch for here when it comes to the Knicks. That would be my lean if any of those names that I mentioned are playing. If Julius Randle is playing, that is going to be my lean. But Indiana, 3 losses in a row. They've lost 5 out of the last 6 games. They're 3-7 in their last 10. But you look at the Knicks and you know what you say, they haven't been much better. They got beat by OKC by 15 points. They only scored 80 points against OKC, and then they lose to Toronto by 15 points as well. I'm siding with the Knicks here, pending injuries, right? If those guys are healthy, because they are the home team in this one, and I just kind of trust them a little bit more there. Indiana 7-10 against the spread away. They are a different away team than home team. The Knicks, I'm not going to go and write home about how good they are at home. They aren't the best at home either, but I am going to side with them because they're home, because both these teams have lost multiple games in a row. I'm going to side with the home team in this one, especially if they're getting their superstar back. Next up, we have the Pelicans hosting the Suns here. Suns -7.5. I get it. The Suns have some injuries. The Suns have lost 3 out of their last 5 games. I get it, man. But they've had some tough games here. You know, playing Golden State and playing Memphis, who's red hot. Losing to Charlotte. Like this Suns team, all of a sudden you're starting to see these spreads against a team like the Pelicans, who just you know, the Jazz covered against them last night. We were on the right side of that, and they're on a back-to-back here. I like this number here. 7.5 for the Suns over the Pelicans. I think that the Suns team, if they have Chris Paul, if they have Devin Booker, they can beat a lot of teams. It looks like they're going to be without Jay Crowder and still DeAndre Ayton and no JaVale McGee. So, you know, obviously guys that play minutes for them, that kind of stinks. Landry Shamet, too, is out. He's a guy that's played a lot of minutes for them. But this Pelicans team, I don't truly trust, especially on the second night of a back-to-back. Playing against, even if they have been, you know, kind of on the tilt down in recent games here, I still think the Suns are much better than this Pelicans team. So I'm going to be rolling with the Suns here. That has a strong chance of making the final ticket. Suns -7.5 my lean. Next up, we have the Lakers hosting the Kings. Lakers 6.5-point favorites. This Lakers team, 2 wins in a row. They beat Portland. They beat Minnesota. Not the best teams. They've won 3 out of their last 4 games. That other third loss would be against the Rockets, so not the best. Sacramento also has won 3 out of their last 4 games. In terms of injuries, we're looking at Holmes out for Sacramento, and Davis is questionable, and then only Anthony Davis is the really big, alarming sort of injury here for the Lakers, and they've dealt with that over the past few games here. So this is, call me crazy, I'm leaning Lakers -6.5. I think that, you know, this is second half of the season type of vibes for LeBron, and this is where I feel like this is when they start beating teams. When LeBron and Russell Westbrook, Melo, they all kind of say, okay, we've been here before. Let's start hitting our stride and win games. I could be totally wrong. This Lakers team has been an absolute nutcase this season. But this is where I start to see like teams like Sacramento, who have a very similar record to them, and definitely a very similar against the spread record to them, not even really compete with them in games. So I am putting my trust in one of the best of all time in LeBron. We'll see if he lets me down, but I'm going to lean Lakers here, -6.5. All right, that's going to do it for my leans for today's video, guys. Again, it's January 4th. Give a birthday shout out to one of my best friends, Pat. It is his birthday today. Shout out to you, Pat. And let's get into the hashtag of the day. So again, we shouted out Belicious at the top of this video, right? Guys, how you get shouted out, all you got to do is use the hashtag of the day from today's video in the comments, and that hashtag is going to be rolling. I'm feeling something here. We got a good January going. Let's keep it rolling. Hashtag rolling in the chat, in the comments. All you guys got to do is drop that in the comments. Give me your picks. Give me your lock. It could be 3 picks. It could be 4 picks. It could be 1 pick that you think is a lock. If you have a winning, positive night, you guys got a chance to be randomly shouted out in tomorrow's video. And don't think just because you go 4-0 like Belicious did, that's your way of getting. No, if you have a winning night, if you have a positive night, that's how you get into the entry, I guess, to be shouted out. So don't think, you know, you gotta go spot on everything. Like, I'm not 100%, right? So all you got to do is have a good night, and you guys have a chance to be shouted out in tomorrow's video. Again, just drop hashtag rolling in the comments with your picks, and we will potentially shout you out if you have a good night. But until then, guys, I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Hopefully everyone makes some bread, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, everything like that. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.